You saw a Broadway recording of Sweeney Todd because there was a random torrent of it in an anime OST you downloaded from like LimeWire or something. so, so okay. People used to see a lot more musicals back in the day because they used to make these really good TV recordings or recordings of them for TV. So they would take the stage actors who were the Broadway performers and the stage production, like all the backgrounds, everything, and they would set up a whole bunch of cameras and they would do a really good filming of the stage production. And they were really good. It felt like a movie because they had all this camera switching and everything, but it was just the Broadway production, you know? And they would take those musicals and then they would show them on TV. And they're a lot more rare. A lot of them, they started like locking that down, shutting that down. So there aren't really like good watchable versions of a lot of current ones. So what people do is they find really sneaky ways. Like they get copyright struck down constantly. So people find really sneaky ways to like upload them. And it's really funny what they name them sometimes. It's so funny. They keep calling them like slime tutorials. They're like, it'll be Count of Monte Cristo and they'll be like, old Frenchman gets revenge slime tutorial. And the thumbnail will be cooked. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. And we share, me and Mouse, we share so many slime tutorials to each other. we're like combing through YouTube. Oh man. So I think Heather's was like girls with traffic light colors. Yeah. For a while, there was a recording of Company with the cast with Raul Esparza, and he was like my favorite guy to play the main character. So I was like, oh, I really want to like watch this one. And now you can just find it. You can just find the whole thing. But it was named something crazy. It was like depressed man goes on a rant about marriage for 3 hours. The musical, but instead of the musical, it was like slime tutorial. And I was like, hey, that's what it is. I love that musical. You'd watch it. It's one of my favorite musicals, and it's like not. I wouldn't say it's objectively one of the best. It's just one of my favorites because it's just a guy. It was written in a time when like everyone got married. You had to get married, and if you didn't get married by you were like 30, 35, like something was wrong with you. So keep in mind that's when it was written. So it's this guy, and it's like I think it's like his 35th birthday. Was it Bobby's 35th birthday? I don't remember. But it's his birthday, and it starts off with him like blowing out candles, and it's all of his friends that set up a little party for him, and they're singing to him, and they're like, "Yay, it's us, your friends!" But they're all couples, and Bobby's alone, and they're like, "So when are you gonna get married? When are you gonna find someone?" And he's like, "I have you guys," and they're like, "Oh, okay." And there's no actual plot to the musical. Each song, each scene is just him on a random day hanging out with one of those couples and like watching them interact, or he's reminiscing about something that happened between them in the past and he was there, and it's like him singing while being there. And it's just him like it's showing what he's seen in front of him for relationships that has shaped and formed his current idea of marriage, and like kind of shows you like through his eyes like why he's not concerned about getting married, like why he's alone, you know, because you see him like watching his friends exist basically. It's a really, really, really interesting musical, and it's got a lot of humor to it. It's a good one. It's a good one. But there's no underlying plot. There's no like plot arc. It just shows him witnessing a bunch of stuff, and then he like has like an attitude shift later, and like he realizes things about himself. But that's the only plot shift. It's literally a bunch of short stories, you know, of just showing like what he's seen throughout his life. It's a good one. What musical this is called Company. It's a lot of people see it and they think it's like about corporate shit. It's called Company because it's about being those people's company, like going to their house and being their company, or having them over as company. It's about like his friends, you know? That's what it's called. But it's a really good one. I just hated, so that version of that musical, he was like my favorite. Raul Esparza was my favorite singer as the main character. But they did some shit. It was interesting but weird. They had all of the actors play an instrument. So they'd go around and sing and act out their scenes, and the other actors who weren't in that scene would be in the background playing as the band along with, you know, a smaller orchestra. And then there were certain parts where instead of singing certain notes, occasionally they played on an instrument, just occasionally. It was kind of weird, but not bad. But it's just like different than like what the original was. So I wouldn't recommend that version for that reason. Like, you should listen to the OG songs, but I think all the actors did so good that like you actually should watch it. I don't know. Sounds like cruise ship kind of setup. It literally was. I wonder if it was like done for a reason like that, almost like to be able to have a smaller group of people travel around with it. I don't know. But it was on Broadway, so I don't know, man. I don't know. Doesn't a framing device count as a plot? Okay, it has a plot but no story. I'll say that. It is a plot and a setting but no story, if that makes sense. There's absolutely zero in that musical. But it has a plot in the sense of like, yeah, it's got themes and you know like what it's about, but you're not watching anything happen in any chronological order. You're just like reliving this guy's memories, you know? Yeah, there's no conflict. There kind of like is conflict scene to scene in the little individual scenes, but overall, it's just a dude in his head. It's kind of creepy at times. He's sitting there and the other actors are sitting behind him and they're like, Bobby, Bobby, what's going on? Bobby, I've been trying to call you. Bobby, how are you? Bobby. And they're like the voices in his head and he's going crazy and they're like, why aren't you married, Bobby? And he's like, ah. So it's just, you know, it's just kind of him going crazy and then thinking back to everything that he's witnessed. Bobby, Bobby, we've been trying to reach you. It's really good. It's really good. It's a banger, man. It's a banger. It'll really resonate if you've ever felt loved by your friends but disconnected from them. That's the whole vibe. Yeah. Yeah, like he loves them a lot. He goes over their houses, they go over to his and they have a great time, but there's just this disconnect of like he doesn't feel the same way they do about life. Right? And that's what the musical's about. It's solid, man. It's really good. It's abstract. It's abstract, but it's not presented in a weird artsy fartsy abstract way at all. It's like it feels really relatable when you watch it. You know, you should do it. You should do it. It's one of like the uncringe musicals. I feel like a lot of modern ones. I don't know. I like them, but they feel a little cringe. Not always, but like aspects of them. But this one is like, I don't know. You can't make this musical cringe. You just can't. Dude, how fucked up was the MySpace top 8? Do you remember the stress? Sitting there and trying to decide amongst your real life friends of who to put in the top 8? That shit was crazy. We need to bring that back.